channel, and this is a story time about how I started getting bullied in school. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is my villain origin story. No, so I wanted to do a story time today about I guess why or how I started getting bullied in school and how that changed for me, or why it took so long for it to change, I suppose, because it did eventually change, but it did take a while. So anyways, I started getting bullied, and I think most people probably start getting bullied. Well, actually, I don't know, but usually it has something to do with your upbringing. Usually if your upbringing is different from the environment that you're around, usually if your environment is different from your upbringing, or you look different from the people that you're growing up around, or you may have seen a lot of things where people are the product of their environment growing up. And then if you're somewhere and maybe it didn't, like, you didn't become the product of your environment, or you did become the product of your environment, but where you went to school was completely different from that area. I.e., if you grew up in the hood, but you went to schools that were, or you ended up in schools that were more like around rich people or middle class people. Or if you grew up around middle class rich people, but then you ended up in a school in the hood. If you're black and going to an all white school, if you're white going to an all black school, or if you're white going to a school where most people do it, like traditions or culture is different from what you grew up with. Same thing if you're black. If you're black and you're in a, like, let's say you grew up preppy black, then if you go to the hood, you finna get clowned. If you're hood, but then you end up going to a preppy black school, then people are going to look down at you. So, yeah. Of course, it originally started because of that kind of thing. Growing up, I seen a lot of violence. And not necessarily just your standard hood violence, gunshots, and, you know, people fighting and shit like that. Not really just the hood shit, because I don't really think that was my main problem. I think my main problem was I grew up in a lot of different environments because we moved a lot. So in one school year, I'm homeschooled, so I'm not really getting any social skills. And then the next year, I'm in an all-white school, and so, like, I'm the weird black kid. And then the next school year, I'm in, like, a predominantly black school, but I'm acting white. So it kind of started out like that because we were constantly moving. And then in my immediate household, there was a lot of domestic violence. So it's almost like you absolutely hate violence, or you have a hate towards something, but you're too young to do anything about it. So it kind of leaves you in this weird, helpless state. Like, you know, like, dang, because if that was me, I would be like, bam, 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 bam. But then, you know, then when the attention is turned on you, you can't, or you don't do any of that because you can't do any of that, or you know you won't be able to get away with doing any of that. I.e., you're going to get your ass whooped. So it started off like that. So I kind of, it put me in a weird space, basically. So with starting school, I'm going to say the earliest grade I could remember, I believe I was the only black kid. I was one of the only black kids. And I think that was probably like kindergarten, where, you know, we're not really staying the whole day. I think we used to only have like half days, and we would get like little snacks, Twizzlers. So my CEOs used to have to take me to get something to eat, typically like McDonald's. But I always remember just being alone. So I'm not really sure where the other jailbirds was at. Or why we went to different schools, but jailbirds. But yeah, so it would kind of have a lot of loneliness. I remember being very much alone, and then I would try to, like, make friends or speak up or, like, say things to people. And I remember the first time I ever got bullied, I was so I don't know Oh, yeah, I could say so. I got a few pictures of me when I was a little kid. I had pretty decent long hair, really thick long hair. And I remember that I used to not like the fact that I couldn't wear my hair out. So my first disdain for hairstyles was braids. I hated braids. I hated micro braids. I hated any kind of braids because I did not understand why I couldn't just wear my hair out like everybody else. So I would take my hair out. And I remember some little white girls were like, they just kind of like yelled it. They're like, Mickey. And I turned around like thinking I'm all that, hair blowing in the wind. Which I'm pretty sure it looks so cute because my hair is pretty much the same. Like when I try to straighten it, it doesn't really get straight. Well, I've done better at it now because I've got some techniques. The CEOs didn't really straighten my hair that much, but we used to get perms. Yeah, I remember them perm stories. So we used to get perms. So my hair would be a little texturized. So it's not as huge as I could make it get now. Because, you know, I don't do all that. I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that. No shade. But, so I remember I took my hair out. And this girl yells, Mickey, your hair is out. And I remember thinking, like, what the fuck is wrong with my hair out? Mind you, she's got a full-blown little bob going on with the head. Actually, kind of like mine right now. With the head being full of bob going on. I couldn't understand, like, why is everybody else... Nobody else has braids. Why is it assumed that I should have braids? So that shit pissed me off. And I remember it pissing me off. So I did it. I did that every single day after school. I was like, so now you finna see it. But because of the flip side of that, which is all the work it takes to do your hair because it's thick and it's coarse, now you're getting in trouble at home. So then I have to stop doing that. Let me get my ass beat. Or the fact that people are constantly telling you, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. If something's happening, you need to speak up, right? But then when you're at home and the CEOs is, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody speaking up. So you hear it. You hear you need to speak up. But you're not going to actually do that because no one else is. So like the way that I talk to my kids these days is my children tell me everything. I don't give a fuck. They tell me everything. Because I make sure I don't overreact when they tell me something. I make sure I don't come off as if now the world is over. And I realize that a lot. When kids tell their parents things and it may mess up the structure of the living situation. Like if the kids are saying, hey, I'm getting bullied at school. But then the parents is like, well, there's nothing I could do about that because you have to go to this school because I have to go to work to pay these bills. You're putting too much pressure on the children. And now they're looking at it as, well, I can't say anything because if I say something, I may ruin everything. I'm about to say, what the fuck? They may look at it like, I may ruin everything. So they're not going to tell you shit. So because I'm not going to say I originally started like that. I'm not going to say like I'm perfect. I did not start off that way. I just remember there are times that my kids would tell me something and it would frustrate me because I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And I'm not saying it to them. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? But I'm sure that they could see on my face or even just me like going in the room and cussing somebody out on the phone because what the fuck is you think you doing? They're eventually be like, well, I don't want you to get mad. And I remember thinking like, okay, if I keep this up, they're gonna have the same issue that I had growing up, which is I want to tell you niggas shit because I'm gonna get my ass whooped here, then I'm gonna go home and get my ass whooped there, right? So that's my foundation. No one does anything. No one really says anything. No one's helping anyone. And these things aren't actually happening to me, but I'm saying that. If something happens, no one's finna save you. And then when you do try to at least say something that is happening to you on the outside, everybody's mad. Everybody's looking at it. Even if they're not specifically saying, oh, this is all your fault, they're still pissed. And now it's like, okay, I'm not gonna say shit. So that's my foundation. So I pretty much stopped telling them when I'm getting bullied. So then, and then even then when I'm meeting friends or like I do have a bestie, like we move. So that friend's gone. And then I find it like I meet people quickly. I think my issue when I was younger is that I would meet people quickly And so I can easily see who's who. And if the person that I see is not like, oh, I don't fuck with you, like something wrong with you, or you talk too much shit, or you're kind of a bully, so I'm like straight up like, oh, I don't like you because you did this to that person, or I'm sticking up for somebody, immediately it puts me either in the worst place or the best place. So either I'm the I'm the kid in the class that, oh, look at Mickey, the hero. And when I ever had one of those situations, we moved. So it's not like I ever got to have best friends for very long. And then in situations where we're kind of there for a while, those are the situations where there's a hierarchy, and I'm not sticking to the status quo, and then so I end up getting outcast and bullied. I'll see which one. Dang, innocent. Yeah. So I'm pretty much going into it like that. But like I said, when we were going back and forth, I don't quite remember like younger, like if we ever went to before 4th or 5th grade. Like, I mean, I don't know if that even matters. But I know the classes or the schools that I can remember before 4th and 5th grade, they were all white. Yeah, that I can remember. They were all white. Or I was homeschooled. So I was probably like a homeschool for 1st grade, 2nd grade, all white. Homeschool for 3rd grade, half of 4th grade, all white. Then we moved back to our hometown, which is Buffalo. And it's hood is there. It's hood. So 4th grade, half of 4th grade, I'm coming into school late. So everybody already done clicked up. Everybody know each other. I don't know what fashion is in Buffalo. I'm just used to like I don't know, t-shirts and capris or short. Like, no one really was like giving a fuck like that. Or actually, I think even then we were wearing uniforms. So we're going to public school. I didn't have a fashion sense. I was a tomboy. I didn't really care about none of that. I mean, even now, I don't really care about what's in. I care about what I look like. Do I feel comfortable in it? How good does it look? If I'm going for sexy and I don't really care about the comfortability, then at least, like, can I run in this? I don't know. I care enough, but not necessarily. Right? So, anyways, I'm kind of going into it because it's something, when you grow up in a diverse place, when you wear something cute, it's cute. No one's like, that's not cute because it's not name brand. I didn't grow up like that. Or at least at that time, I didn't grow up like that. It was just, oh, that's cute, or you look pretty. No one says, like, where you get that from? How much was it? So when we going in the hood, it's Jordans. Everybody got motherfucking Jordans. What's that? And, I'm like, what? I don't care, and I don't know. It's probably not even that I didn't care. My CEOs was not giving a fuck about that. So it was pretty much, if we got the money for it, then we going down to Walmart. Nothing wrong with Walmart. I basic clothes, who cares? But, every now and again, I guess, I feel like, even if you don't want to go the route of name brand, because I don't care nothing about that, I think you should at least let your children pick their own style. At the very least. Because your style is not always going to be their style, and you don't really know what's in for the kids. So, like, even if you don't want to go name brand, or you can't afford name brand, they should at least be able to say, well, at least can I get this sort of a look? Because this is what, I don't want to say what everybody's wearing, because I don't try to teach my kids to go with the status quo. Ugh. Anyways, but they still have their own individual styles. If I was wearing my own individual style, I could at least be like, this is what I like. I was wearing shit that even I didn't like. So how was I supposed to defend that this is cute to me if it wasn't even cute to me? Like I said, we wearing braids, and I did not like braids. Y'all remember them braids where you braid it 1, 2, 3, or you just this side, but then this side is like a bang? I couldn't stand that shit. Or my CEO used to always give me like 2 big jumbo braids, which is funny because I wear the hell out of that style now. Well, not braids. I don't wear it in the braids, but I wear it like the twist, and you kind of twist it in so it's like twisted and it's kind of stuck to your head. People used to call me Harriet Tubman. I couldn't stand that shit. So sometimes I would even try to take it out, but I didn't really know how to style my hair. I wasn't taught how to style myself for my hair or anything like that. So it still ends up looking like shit. Well, it didn't look like shit to me, but it looked like shit to everybody else. So going into 4th grade, it was kind of like that. Like, how come your hair is not braided? Or how come you don't, what's that? Where did you get that? She look like she went to Walmart. The problem was, because I was so conflicted, like, if I stand up for myself, I know I'm finna get in trouble. Because it always used to happen like that. Like, somebody could be, like, pulling my hair, dragging me down a hallway, and light my shit on fire. But as soon as I'm like, you know what? This shit. And I, like, swing. That's exactly when the teacher comes and, oh, my God, Nikki! That's all. That used to always happen. And then I go home and get my ass whooped. So it got to a point that I was being bullied verbally so much that, and I'm not saying anything, that people, or if I did say something, it probably sounded corny as hell. Like, your shoes look like shit. And I'd be like, your shoes look like shit. But I'd be dead ass though, because I don't know what the fuck those is either. So does that qualify? You don't know what my shoes is. Well, I don't know what your shoes is. So I guess they motherfucking ugly. But I wasn't saying it like that. I'm just like, your shoes is ugly. And people, like I said, they already clicked up. This 4th fucking grade, man. I'm telling y'all, this shit I used to see in 4th grade. I want to say it surprised me, but it didn't. Because I'm sure I've seen it already amongst these people. Like, when I say, because I got a story time about this, but I grew up seeing some wild ass shit. So it's not like what they were doing was weird, you know. What's the simplest way to say that about some kids? They was basically doing adult shit in class. And they would be, I mean, I wouldn't say they'd be out in the open. Like, the teacher doesn't see it, but I don't think the teacher gave a fuck. But it's not like the teacher would see it, but they're still doing it to where other students who are sitting next to them can see them fiddle-diddling each other, if you feel what I'm saying. So it's like, I mean, people, like, to that extent in this class. And I'm like, I see this shit at home. So, like, it's not, to me, it's not in my mind normal. Like, I'm not looking at it like, oh, this is normal. They just doing what they doing. It's always scared me. Like, that kind of, I guess, sexual stuff scared the fuck out of me. Because I've seen it so much that, I don't know. I guess I just assumed that it was, like, it just used to terrify me. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm pretty sure it's obvious. I was in 4th grade. 4th grade seeing this stuff. So it's like, I'm around people kids who are like, I don't know. So I'm getting bullied verbally, and it got to a point where people just knew I wasn't going to say anything. And they assumed that meant I was scared. I could honestly say I was not. I just genuinely didn't know what to do. I genuinely just, like, because, like, teachers aren't saying anything. If I go home, I'm finna see this shit anyway with a bunch of grown-ass people. So how do I tell a bunch of grown-ass people that the kids in school are doing the same things that they're doing that I shouldn't be seeing, but I'm seeing it, and they don't give a fuck? So why would they give a fuck that some kids is doing it? And maybe, like, you know, as an adult now, it's like, okay, just because adults do adult things doesn't mean that we'd be okay with kids doing those things. So maybe they would have been like, hey, we're going to go down to school and we're going to talk to the teachers or whatever. Maybe. But it's not like they're hiding it. It's not like being an adult doing adult things, but the kids don't know about it. And then they just happen to find out. And so they're doing these things at school. And then you could be like, what the fuck? And then you take them home and you're like, hey, I don't know what the hell you saw. Or, you know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know if everybody knows, because I feel like, close your fucking door. I don't know. Like, or don't do this shit until you ain't got no keys in the house. I don't know. But it was so in your face that in my child mind, I didn't think they would give a fuck. So here I am supposed to be learning in school while people are doing weird shit. Then I gotta go home, do homework with people doing weird shit. Then I gotta go to school. Honestly, I think I was just mentally, like, I was checked the fuck out as a kid. I was so checked out. Like, I remember I just used to daydream all day. It didn't matter where the fuck I was. I would just be daydreaming. And I didn't learn until I was older that I was just dissociating from weird shit. I was dissociating like a motherfucker. And people didn't understand that that's why I liked fantasy movies. That's why I just really didn't give a fuck about what was going on around me. I don't want to see more of that. But you know, it's not like I want to tell people all that every single time. They're like, why don't you watch black people movies? Nigga, I'm watching black people movies at home with no TV. I don't need cable for this. I'm saying it. So yeah. So then it started getting physically violent. But it started getting to the point of physical violence at school to where I think I was starting to lose my fucking mind. And I mean it. Like, I was getting dragged down fucking hallways. But I'm not, like, screaming and crying because I'm not fucking scared. I just literally don't know what to do. So imagine you seeing, like, I'm not going to say I would laugh at a kid if I saw this. I just mean, imagine imagine a kid, not even a kid, just anybody, being dragged, but they're not scared. So their face is like a straight face. Essentially, you're just kind of like... So I feel like people probably thought I was like a little slow. I'm pretty sure people thought I was slow. No, I'm for certain some people thought I was slow. But like I really didn't know what to do, right? So it reminds me of like when people talk about white people who don't know how to handle bullying, so they, you know, they go to the extreme because they're tired of being bullied. It reminds me of that because I used to go to white school, so I would see little white boys getting dragged down hallways, not scared, not like crying or screaming, just kind of like I don't know what the fuck to do, right? And I assume they go to that extreme. I don't know how they would get to that point. I mean, I know how they would get to that point. I think we all know, but nobody just wants to say that you've never been bullied, so you have no idea what it feels like to have people watching you, right? And like I said, in situations like that, if I'm choosing to be the person who's like, what the fuck is y'all doing? Like, now I'm being targeted. But at that age, being targeted, I didn't know what to do. Because my way of helping people wouldn't necessarily to be like, show that like I got hands. I didn't know I had hands. Because I ain't never had to have hands. So I didn't even know I had hands. So I'm just like, I would say something and then now everyone's targeting me. Well, what the fuck is you finna do, little bitch? Like, you know what I mean? And these are little kids. But they're talking like grown-ass people. So, yeah, that was school. That was my introduction to all-black school. Man. And then no one ever, like, really, like, punched me. It didn't get to that yet. Nobody ever, like, punched me, but I'm getting dragged. People like, what money did you bring for school? And they're not being like, bitch, give me your lunch money. I was manipulated as a child. So it'd just be like, oh, how much, dang, Mickey, you got money. You gotta let me borrow something. And I'm over here thinking like, oh, okay, I got friends. Here you go. Now I'm fucking hungry because I'm not realizing, oh, if I give them my money, I can't buy lunch. I gotta get whatever they give me. And then I'm doing it and thinking that these people were my friends until one day somebody pulls my fucking hair. And it was some, and I don't know, like, it's crazy thinking about this shit because when I finally thought that I had a best friend and then she had flipped it on me and started joining in with everybody else, because she was like, I want to say she was a new student. So she was new after me. But so we were both new. So we were like, we kind of clicked pretty quick. But when she realized that I was the one getting talked about, which, you know, I didn't know the game, so I didn't even know to not do that either. I don't know if I give a fuck enough. Shit, I'm gonna have a motherfucker's back. But she didn't want to get dragged. She didn't want to get dragged down hallways like me. So it flipped. And so now she's like hanging out with the people who don't like me. And then so if they're pulling my hair, she's kind of just standing there. Yeah. And so then it went back to me having no fucking friends. Or like Valentine's Day would come up. And you know how you're supposed to give everybody like a card? I would try to be like, use my little writing skills. I think I was always a pretty good writer. Excuse me. Every time I talk a lot, I burp like crazy. I was a pretty good writer as a kid. Like, I started my writing as a child. And so I'd be like trying to be all cute and sweet with my little letter or my cards. And so I'm giving them the class, and I'm thinking like, this what's gonna make us out the hood. It's gonna get us out the hood. And it's not like everybody's like, man, fuck this shit, Mickey, we don't even like you. No, they're like, oh, thank you. And so I gave like these the biggest baskets to the one I thought we were gonna be friends, and to my biggest bully, right? I'm thinking, if I make a friend out of my enemies, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend, some shit, I don't know. Then the one that's kind of what started with her being like, I guess she was pissed, because she looked at it as if I'm kissing the bully's ass. Even though she was friends with her. I don't know. And so that made it even fucking worse. Not the day of, though, because it was always like, oh, Mickey, you're so sweet. And the next day, oh, you think, bitch, if you give us baskets that we gonna forget? And I'm getting my hair pulled. So I remember one day, I got my hair pulled for the very fucking last time in my life. Well, probably not the last time in my life, because like I said, when I grow up, dudes be like, oh, your hair long. And they try to do that little tuggy shit. Well, I wouldn't consider that bullying, because at that point, I'm like, if you touch my motherfucking hair again, bitch. Probably not all that, but I'm saying something by then. But for the very last time, in a way where I felt, I suppose, bullied. Or at least targeted by a woman. I'll say that. And I wasn't going to do nothing. So I remember, like, it was like the next day after that. This girl pulls my hair so fucking hard that I remember having that. Y'all remember Saw? When that one motherfucking scene where her hair was in that damn machine? Oh, I hate that scene. And, that's why I don't watch scary movies no more. But that shit where her fucking scalp was starting to, whoo! But I felt like that. Well, obviously not that, but metaphorically. I felt like I could feel my scalp. And I remember, like, tears forming in my eyes. And mind you, like I said, none of these motherfuckers used to ever make me cry. I would just be stressed and annoyed because I'm like, what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean? I'm sitting here planning on on ways to get up out this shit. And mind you, I'm failing the fuck out of my class. Because I couldn't focus. I couldn't focus there. I couldn't focus at home. And so obviously things are going on to where teachers are calling my parents, and that's when the question comes up of if I'm slow. And I was actually supposed to be held back in that grade, the class I'm talking about. And the CEO was like, no, we're not holding her back. And the only reason why I kind of like, I've always mocked it is because I was supposed to be held back twice in my life. 4th grade, 10th grade. No, 4th grade, 11th grade. And because of 4th grade, because of me not getting held back, and I know this is a weird thing to be thinking as a kid, but shit. I wanted to be held back because I felt like I didn't get the opportunity to pay attention. And we started late. So, yeah, I felt behind. So when 11th grade happened and I was supposed to be held back, not because of anything I did, because the school fucked up. It was this new homeschooling program shit, and it was one of them times where they took me out of school. I have a story time about that too, but in 11th grade. But because of them fucking up, instead of me graduating, I passed, but they passed me from 10th grade to 11th grade instead of from 11th grade. Oh, no. 4th grade, 12th grade. So instead of them passing me so that I could start college, I ended up going to the 11th grade. The only reason why I say it pissed me off CO did that is because I knew I needed it. I knew I needed to at least have another year. Instead of then going through what I had to go through anyways, which resulted me into having to get a fucking GED. Or not a GED, but an alternative diploma, which ends up setting me back a year anyways. So, I don't know. But because of all this jumping in and out of schools and then different school systems and then different states, the curriculum changes constantly. And I'm like, okay, if we could just stay in one fucking place, which ended up being Vegas, then I could at least give me 1 year. I promise you I'm finna learn everything I fucking forgot about. But they couldn't have someone in their household who was held back. Mind you, a couple of these people ain't graduate, but that's neither here nor there. So I don't know. My whole thing is I can't stand when motherfucking black people be like, oh no, or if somebody says, hey, your child might be a bit autistic if you take them to get evaluated, then it's like, oh no, my child. Mind you, they never get they never get to learn the way that they're supposed to be learning. Or I'm not saying everybody should just be like, popping ADHD pills and shit like that. I'm not saying that. But if you don't even want to go the route of that kind of medicine, then you can go the holistic route. But you're not doing the homework because it's all about, no, not my people, my this, my that. We're never going to fucking advance if sometimes you can't take a couple of some constructive criticism. I don't know, but I suppose I wish I didn't even have to think like that as a kid. I wish somebody was thinking like that for me. But, yeah, so 4th grade was a fucking mess. So when she does this shit, and she yanked it so fucking hard that I could feel like my scalp stinking, my nose fucking stinking to the point I'm starting to cry. I remember I jumped up, and it probably looked like one of them White Boy Rick moments. Not literally White Boy Rick, the show, the movie, no. But I just mean, you know what I mean. It probably looked like it was finna be one of them. Because if everybody already calling me white girl, then yeah, it probably looked like that. But I remember I got up, right? So I get up off my chair, but I get off my chair so hard that the chair fucking flings across behind me. And you know how it always make that sound in fucking school? And so now everybody's turning around and looking at me because it's loud as hell. And I'm like, don't you ever fucking touch my hair again, bitch. First time I probably ever cussed in my life. And I'm like, I go into the closet of where like our coats are, and I'm like, fucking smash that bitch open. So it hits the wall hard as hell, and I yank my damn jacket, and I'm just like busting through everybody. Everybody's desk and shit, and the teacher's like, Mickey, you better sit down. I said, fuck you. And I walk out. Now, mind you, they probably laughed the moment I closed. Like, ha ha ha, you see that shit? They probably laughed. But I didn't care. I was so fucking angry. So, bullying died down for a while after that. They called the COs, and of course I got in trouble. Yeah. So it died down for a while. So it's just back to me being in class, staring at walls or staring out the window. Probably sometimes falling asleep because I was just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not about to meet nobody. Don't nobody want to be my friend. So I'm just pretty much like either like writing. I'm always writing some shit. Taking notes, writing, doodling, falling asleep, daydreaming, right? So I suppose I was quiet for a while, and that's then the time I was dragged down the hallway. I'm walking down the hallway, getting ready to go home. And this little nigga, it's crazy because I've seen some of these fucking people after this. Bitch ass niggas. So this little nigga, we're gonna call him B. And so he drags me down. He's just like, oh, I know you ain't think we forgot. And he drags me down the fucking hallway. He drags me so far from the class to the steps. So he's dragging me until I get to the steps. And because I had to go down these steps, mind you. I literally get up off the floor when he stops dragging me. And he's about to start, like, talking shit. I didn't care. I just got up and started walking down the fucking stairs. And he's like, you're fucking weird. I swear, sometimes as an adult, I'll be thinking about child Mickey. And I'll be, like, wanting to cry. I have, actually. I've cried a couple times. Because I'm like, damn, if I was an adult, I'd have... Come here, little motherfucker. I wouldn't have did that. See, hold on, though. Because if that was my child, where's your parents? I ain't got to drag you. Where your parents at? Let me talk to your parents. I don't give a fuck if them motherfuckers came in 6'7". I'm dragging them motherfuckers. Just too motherfucking late. Come here, little bitch. I'm not going to do that to nobody's kid. I promise. The parents, though. So yeah, I'm damn near just walked straight downstairs. Like, thanks for the ride. So because I did that dumbass shit, I know it wasn't dumb. I just, man, sometimes I wish I was just like, but we gonna get there. So I did that. And of course, that's like, oh, yep, we're back in, you guys. We're back in, boys. And every day, back at it again. Until it was one day, right? And it just got to the height of it again. My hair had got pulled. I used to bring, I didn't realize, they call it stimming. But mind you, I ain't never been diagnosed with nothing. So I don't know if that's what I was doing when I was a kid. But I had this green ball. And I had this green ball for like years. Like maybe 2 years. And I had kept track of the fact that I had it for that long. So I used to look at it as if like it was like my pet rock, basically. And every time I probably was stimming. Every time I was in a stressful situation at home, I would hold my ball, or I would have my ball as if it was my pet. I wouldn't say I would talk to it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so I would do that. And because school has started getting more stressful again, I had decided to take the ball to school. And so it was like one of them times in class where everyone's being bad as fuck. Teacher don't give a shit. I don't know what she's doing. Because did we have cell phones back then? I don't know. But she's doing what she's doing. And, yeah. And one of these stupid little fuckers sees my ball. But I don't see him see my ball. So I'm still just like basically squeezing the ball. And he comes and he snatches it out of my hand. And I immediately, I immediately react. Because normally I wouldn't immediately react until that time this bitch pulled my hair. She ain't a little kid no more, little bitch. Damn, I'm not a kid no more. But, so I immediately react. So I go to snatch it back. And he's like fucking teasing me. Like, I got your fucking ball. And he looks at it and he can see that it's jacked up a bit. And that's where one of the jokes about my teeth come in. Where, what are you doing? Chewing it? And I'm like, now, give me my fucking ball. I probably wasn't even cussing. I was probably just like, no, give me my ball. So I'm starting to fucking cry. Because this was my damn teddy bear, type shit. And he's like, I'm not giving you back this nasty ass ball. And he throws it away. And I couldn't bring it to myself to really dig in the garbage. So I go to tell the teacher, and she's basically I'm not getting that out of the garbage. This teacher was fucking us if I ever saw that bitch again. She was racist as fuck. But she's like, I'm not getting that ball. And I'm like, but I need my ball. This is my favorite ball. So she goes and she takes it and she sees that it's fucked up, right? And she's like, why is it so nasty? And I'm like, I've had it for a really long time. So I'm trying to be I've had it for 2 years. And she's like, well, did somebody give it to you? And I'm just like my parents bought it. And she's like, well, are they dead? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm a kid. So I'm like, no, they're not dead. And she's like, well, then it's not that important. She drops it back in the fucking garbage. She drops it back in the fucking garbage. When I'm sat in I sat in that class and I cried like a fucking baby. Send me to the office. Get it called again. Go home. Get your ass whooped. And then my last straw was probably within the same week. One of the COs bought me this cute red jacket, right? Because this is in Buffalo, right? So you got to have really big ass coats. And for the longest time, we did not have one because we came from Vegas. And you know how everybody liked the coats with the fur on them and shit like that? She got me, but not necessarily the type that everybody was wearing. Actually, I don't even know if those was out yet. It wasn't Fat Farm. Fat Farm? Was it Fat Farm? With the cat? What's the cat? The chick with the cat? Russell Simmons' ex-wife, right? Baby Fat. Is it Baby Fat? It wasn't that, because I don't even think those were out yet. But just having those big furry coats. And it was leather. Leather, but it looked like leather. And it was red. And I thought it was like the coolest, dopest thing ever. Mind you, apparently people weren't wearing colorful fucking fur coats. So now I'm like going in there. I'm feeling fresh in them both. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. It's me. But because it was too much. It was too much. It had to probably be like black, tan, or fucking brown, some damn boring ass color. So then everybody's like, who you think you is? You think you're all that? And mind you, we got like finally got school clothes. So like my hair was done. I had like, I think not micro braids, but singles with weave. And I thought I looked and I don't even want to say I thought I did, because I knew I did because of the response from these bullies went into overdrive. Because mind you, when people would pull my hair, they would pull my hair because to them it wasn't done. It was unkept. So they would be like, oh, you got all this hair and you don't know what to do with it? Why do you get to have all this hair? Because if I had all this hair, which pisses me off, because the chick who was supposed to be my friend, she had long hair. And the chick that was pulling my hair, she had long hair. But I felt like because they were like light-skinned, that it was okay for them to have long hair. Now, I don't know how people perceive my color. I don't fucking care. They were light-skinned. But because they had long hair, it was like they were like the cool girls in school. And there was another girl with long hair, the one that was doing all the weird shit with the boy, getting fucking, that's just disturbing. But they were all light-skinned, they all had long hair. And so it was like, I don't know, they expected me to act like them, I suppose. And I didn't understand that, because I didn't understand the whole colorist shit at that age. And I'm used to being around white people. So it's just that you're black. You're black. There was no you're light black or you're dark black or you're in between black. Nobody gave a fuck. It's just you black, nigga. And you ain't supposed to be here. So being in this place where people are beefing over skin color, and then it's like, they're trying to make it seem like dark-skinned girls, you can't hang out with the dark-skinned girls because the dark-skinned girls are going to talk about you. But I'm over here getting mad fucking bullied by light-skinned girls. And it's like, ain't nobody, I don't know. Because I'm not going to say I've never had a bully that was dark-skinned. But at this time, my introduction was, you bitches. Y'all the one with the motherfucking problem. I'm just saying. Y'all, it wasn't no dark-skinned girls talking about some, ew, you think you all that with long hair? It was these bitches. And I'm like, I didn't understand it because y'all had long hair. And I think at that age, I felt like their hair was longer than mine. I don't know. But, they used to have like fucking perms and silk presses and what the shit, the perm rods. Shit, my hair was probably like this and a big ass poof back there until my hair was done. And that pissed them off. So I'm going to school feeling cute, looking cute. I remember I had some like bell bottoms. And they had like patches, like sewed in different color patches. And it was just so fucking cute. I looked earthy with this big ass fur red coat. And the patches were like maroon. I looked so cute. I looked something out of like the Spice Girls. For sure. These bitches cut my fucking coat. And I'm like telling the teacher, like, I'm finna get my ass whooped. And she's like, oh yeah, you need to stop worrying about them. Like, they're just kids. Saying it to me like I'm an adult. And I'm like, man, fuck them. I just got this jacket. I'm finna go home and get my ass beat. And she's like, well, just tell your parents and I'll call your parents. You could just tell them and that somebody else did it. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a jacket. Mind you, she's seen me coming to school damn near every day, like fucking one of these. Because I ain't have no big jacket. Now I finally get a big jacket. And you're not like, I'm going to call your parents if they don't get you a jacket. I'm going to call your parents if you don't get some socks. Like, you know what I mean? Type, I'm going to call Child Protective Services if they don't have you right. I finally look right and you tell me something. It's just a jacket. Man, when I snatched that motherfucker, I'm stay snatching jackets. I was snatching jackets like Danielle Washington to be fucking smacking cups. I snatched my motherfucking jacket and I was, you fucking sons of bitches. I don't know what the fuck I said. I'm just going off. Like, why would you do this? And I walk out again. Detention. Go home. Get your ass whooped. fourth grade was a fucking shit show. A fucking shit show, right? So for school, when school's finally over, I was like, thank God. I didn't give a fuck. I hoped I never saw none of them motherfuckers again. Until summer. Or like going into summer. And I'm realizing, okay, we're not moving. Because we normally would move. I've been in different schools in every grade consecutively. Like, boom. First grade, different school. Second grade, different school. Third grade, different school. Fourth grade, different school. So I'm thinking fifth grade finna be a different school. It was not going to be a different school. It was something sparked in me that summer. Something sparked in me that summer. Like, I just became extremely angry. Because, mind you, what the hell? At school, I'm getting bullied. At home, I'm getting bullied. But then, like, even when we play, I don't know why I was about to say play outside. We was playing outside. When we go play outside or whatever like that, I was getting bullied. Because at the time, I was becoming best friends with a chick across the street. But her family, her cousins and, I don't want to say sister. Did she have a sister? No. Her cousins, but their cousins was like 3 of them. 3 different sisters. And then another cousin of those cousins. So it was like a bunch of these chicks. And I think like, was there one brother? No, that was her brother. Yeah. They were like the street fucking bullies. They were pretty much running the street as the kids. I don't even want to say as the kids because their mamas was running the streets too because they had my... Their mamas was running the motherfucking streets too because the CO... One of the COs didn't know how to stop talking to my best friend's mama. So summer was pretty lit because, you know, we had got bikes that summer. So we was just like biking it. And I felt free. I'm like, finally, I ain't got to wake up and go to this fucking school. I'm literally making plans on what I'm going to do. I was like one of those people who started planning out, what am I going to say? So I started learning how to, I guess, jawn on people or joke on people or, you know, joke back. I don't know what the fuck. So I was learning how to, like, talk shit. I was learning how to talk shit. To myself, though. To myself. So I would practice this on the on people on the street, right? I didn't realize that, like, my writing skills by using my voice, like, I would basically, whatever I'd be writing, like, you know, if I make up a story, I would embody that person. And that person didn't let people talk shit to her without saying some shit back. So I was learning how to, like, be quick with it. And I realized, like, oh, shit, I got the gift of gab. I can really, like, talk some shit if I want to. I don't want to say it backfired, but it backfired in the sense because then I ended up getting in a lot of fights. And I thought I wasn't going to, like, because I'd assumed that I was just going to be talking shit. I was going to learn how to talk shit first, and then I was going to get to learn how to fight. I don't know. So I would just be talking shit, and then a boy would, like, hit me. And then I would be like, you know what? Not my first ever fight was with a fucking boy. Because he said something about me. It was, like, typical shit that I would get talked about in school. Oh, she's pretty and you're ugly. Or you're the ugly friend. So then I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. And they'd be like, well, I don't give a fuck either. I don't give a fuck either. And I'd be like, yeah. So I'm getting in trouble because all the CEOs have to do is come outside and they hearing people go, yeah, get him, Mickey. And they're like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm getting like yanked up and shit. And they're like, what the fuck is you doing? Now parents is like, man, get your kid, man, get your motherfucking kid. That started making actual parents, like my fucking CEOs and this person's fucking parents and that person's CEO and it just like, yeah. It started a couple of rivalries amongst some female adults because then when it stopped being me fighting boys, it started being, because now basically I'm being known in the streets for whooping boys' asses. So I kind of got a reputation of fighting boys. And if all the girls or these certain girls are known to be like scary, in my mind, I thought, boys, you ain't fucking scary to me. I used to think like, oh, hell yeah, if I can fight a boy, I could beat a bat. It's not always like that, though. It's not. Because sometimes when you're fighting boys, they're like, they've been taught not to hit girls. So they're kind of just like shaking you around. And you like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to have boys fucking crying. I used to have boys crying like, my mom. But I never like hit people first, honestly. It would just get to a point where I would be tired of hearing someone say that I was like ugly or something. Because they wanted me to do like freak shit, basically, as a kid. And I didn't want to do that because I was scared. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I would see a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying that I wasn't imitating the things that I was seeing, but not to the extent of, like, trying to have sex as a little kid, because that's fucking weird. That's weird. So, that shit would scare me. So, they're pretty much like, oh, if you're not doing anything freaky, then you're ugly. And that's kind of probably how that all started. Because for some reason, the CEOs picked that up. The people who were supposed to be, you know, blood, family, started picking up on that. Instead of realizing that I'm a fucking tomboy and I just want to climb up trees and ride bikes. But because y'all won't protect me, I'm protecting myself. So this is either going to give me the reputation of a badass, or this is going to give me a reputation of a hardhead. In either way, the older you get, men are not going to, or boys or dudes are not going to look at that as like they kind of tend to look at it as not competition. They look at it as like something to be conquered. Oh, Mickey's always you rough. I could fucking wrestle you, whatever, and then that turns into them thinking like they finna no nigga the fuck no, and then now you're ugly. You're ugly bitch. So, yeah, it would get a lot like that. But I was fighting a lot that summer. So then it started getting to the point where I was catching the eyes of the mean girls, because not me having a reputation. Because for the longest, it's kind of just them thinking that they're about to tell everybody what to do. And I would have pushback because I didn't want to end up like 4th grade. Mind you, I done seen shit over here. I'm already filling out what the hood feel like, what the hood be doing. And I was like 10. So, like, yeah, by the time I turned 11, I was on some, like, yeah, shit, I'm riding bikes down streets like one of these. Like, this is my motherfucking Cadillac. I run this motherfucker. So, then I got my first chick fight. Because I actually don't even know why the fuck we started fighting. I don't know. But it was my best friend's cousin. So, like, we're on the porch. Oh, I do know. So we're on the porch, and my Johnny skills went up. My Johnny skills gone up now. So the boy I had already fought, we ended up having a crush on each other. But he wasn't even that kind of boy. So it's not like he was trying to make me do like weird shit. But we definitely had a crush on each other. But I do think he at least was expecting like kisses, and I knew my COs by that time. Like, I knew them very early on it was never gonna work that way. So I was from 10, 11. I can't have no boyfriends. So then he would turn on me and be like, you're ugly. Then we would fight. And then, like, you know, we'd be back friends again. And then be like, oh, nope, you're ugly. And then we would fight. Like, that literally was we was on some damn love and basketball shit without the basketball. So then my best friend's cousin and me, she was trying to like come at me sideways, basically, on one of them, because she was one of the mean girls. So she was trying to come at me sideways, but I'm sitting down, she's standing up, but I'm sitting down like I said, when you bully somebody long enough, there's nothing you can say. And at that age, I started getting to that, like, damn, I done been through some shit. So it was nothing that she was saying that was like getting to me. So I'm just like, man, I don't give a fuck. And we started cussing. I was like, man, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Shit, fuck you. And he'd be like, ha, 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 ha. And then it started to piss her off, because I guess maybe she had a crush on him, and I didn't see it yet. So I'd be like, stop fucking laughing. That shit ain't funny. And he'd be like, I'm fucking serious, bitch. You better get up. Something like that. And I'm over here like, okay. I'm going back to talking to my best friend. She tried to kick me while I was sitting down. So when she tried to kick me when I was sitting down, I grabbed her foot and I fucking flipped that bitch. And so the balcony's behind her. Like, you know how porches, well, maybe I don't. Porches on the East Coast or the, why do I just gotta stop quoting everything. Porches on the East Coast or like the South, they kind of have that like banister. So I fuck it. And she almost goes over like, she's like, ugh, but she holds on, flips back, and then we just like, nah, 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 nah. And for some reason, he's like, oh, you didn't win, Nikki. You didn't win. You didn't win. And I remember it hurt my fucking feelings because I'm like, wait, what? And that was the day I decided I don't give a fuck if I win or not. I'm gonna beat your ass. Because I like cried and everything. Like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Fuck her. And I go home and I'm crying and shit. It's then my fucking 5th fight this month. I'm like, I'm tired of these motherfuckers. I couldn't tell nobody. They didn't give a fuck. I don't even know where the hell they was at. Or actually, no. Yeah, I think they came out and was like, yeah, get in the fucking house. Yeah, so I'm like crying and shit. And I kind of like damn near went beast mode. Like, the fights went 10 times more than that. I damn near every time me and her fucking was in some space by ourselves or without adults around. Bitch, fucking bam. So one day she tries this again, but we're in my house upstairs in our room, and I'm holding my baby brother. And as I'm holding my baby brother, she tries to swing at me, but she hits my baby brother. And at this time, my baby brother was a baby. He was a baby. Like, wah, baby. Wasn't crawling, wasn't walking. And that shit, like, I felt that shit in my gut. Because he starts wailing. I put him down. I'm fucking bitch. I'm beating her ass out the room, right? So she's getting her ass whooped out my room. I'm fucking, ma. And they're like, Mickey! And I'm like, bitch, don't you ever hit? I went crazy. Like, if I was an adult, I probably would have went to jail. So I'm beating her ass through the hallway, right? I'm beating her ass through the hallway. Motherfucking bitch. And I can hear my CEOs going, what the fuck is going on up there? We get to the hallway, like, so I kicked her ass out the room. So I'm beating her ass out the room. Then we make it to the hallway, and then the hallway turns this way. So I'm beating her ass through the hallway. And soon as she gets to the frameway of the stairs that goes down, I go, bitch. And she's like, fucking flips. So she rolls down the stairs. I'm running down the stairs like, bitch. I probably said bitch 200 times. I don't know why I kept saying it. But I'm like, bitch. So then we make it to the steps. So the steps goes down. And then there's a window right there. I'm thank God that she didn't fall out that window. I'm surprised she actually didn't. Because then she would have fallen at least one story. But then the stairs turns this way. So I'm like, man, bitch. And right there, the seals is there. And they're like, I stayed getting fucking like, huh. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? So I could understand to an extent why I may have looked like the bad child. But my thing is, it was so many signs before this summer. Ow. There was so many signs before this summer. Or even during these things happening that I was getting bullied. There were so many signs. There are moments where even the other jailbirds was getting bullied by these people. There were moments where the fucking COs was getting bullied by these people. So it was like, it was not an unknown thing, right? Because even one of my COs had to check that same fucking girl's mother for talking shit. They was literally about to fight in the damn street. But because of the way we looked as white, because only one CO kind of had the more hood mentality. So the other COs, they kind of had a little bit more of a, that's probably why we talk the way we talk, was because some of the COs had more vocabulary, graduates. They weren't really hood people. They just, I guess, wanted to be hood people. So it's not like this was, so the me getting my ass whooped all the time, I did not get it. So because I whooped her ass the way I whooped her ass, her older sister wanted to whoop my ass. And she was the main bully. She was the one that all the boys liked. She was the one who was supposed to be the prettiest, the thickest, you know what I mean? And didn't faze me none. I didn't give a fuck. But so then it was pretty much like I met the boss. I had to fucking fight the boss, the top boss or whatever. But it never ended up happening like immediately, because now it's just like parents arguing, well, your motherfucking kid shouldn't hit my baby, and kind of thing. So that's when I get like, it was an accident that kind of happened where we was all outside playing and shit, and one of the jailbirds threw something, like this big ass fucking rim, and calls me, and as I turn around, the rim just goes clink, and it chops my little, that little thing right there, it cuts that. And so I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding everywhere. So when she wanted to fight, I was told that I could not, because at that point this was after I got the stitches and had the injury. So I was told that I could not fight anymore. I was done, basically. That's enough. You proved your point. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So then she's like, well, asking one of the COs. Now, looking back, because there's some things I know, this shit's weird as fuck to me. So she asked one of the COs, mind you, we're 11, 12. I was 11, she was like 12. So she's like asking one of the COs, like, well, can she at least box me? This is the oldest one that wants to fight me. That, can she box me with some boxing gloves? But the way that she's saying it, and the way that the CEO was kind of like, yeah. You would think like she was an adult, and I was an adult. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say without saying it, but it was weird, basically. Because it's like, hey, the fuck? Hey, hi, I'm the person you're raising here. Why are you, what? My nose, like, what the fuck, what you mean? Yeah, okay, yeah, y'all can fight. What the fuck? So I'm like literally just standing there like, I'm in this like weird daze, because although I'm a child, I'm still noticing, I'm understanding what's going on. Because like I said, this ain't my first rodeo. I've seen shit. I've seen some shit. So I'm over here like, and she's giving me the gloves, and I'm like, so I'm putting these fucking gloves on, right? The fucking, because remember I said, I ain't really feel fire over like relationships before, but this is the first time I had felt like that feeling of like, I want to kill everybody over here. I'm trying to off all you niggas. I'm tired of this weird shit. And I want to say that's the first time I remember having consciousness where I was self-aware. I started to notice that the things that were happening around me were very fucking dark, like demonic type shit, like weird cult type, like, if we don't get out of here, we're all going to hell. like shit was, my mind was starting to open. And I think that's why I started becoming so violent, and because I wasn't like fighting simply just because motherfuckers was pulling my hair anymore. It was just like people wanting to like, bump. And I'm like, no, this shit weird. Okay. And then we like bop. Like I'm fighting for my fucking virginity. Okay. So I'm putting these fucking gloves on, and I'm just like, you really finna make me do this shit? And I'm only saying make me because I was clearly saying, no, I'm good. Like, you could wait. I had my little mouth then. So I'm like, nah, you could wait, nigga, till my shit heal. Like, the fuck? I'm not. No. The fuck? I'm about to go ride this bike. You fuck off. For the CO to be like, yeah, go ahead, fight me. And then the CO's like, yeah, whoop her ass. And I'm over here like, I don't want to. And then they're like, no, get her. So she tried to, as I'm looking at the CO being like, yo, like, hey, I got a fresh, my shit was still like pusty and like, hello, this is normal. Wake up, brother, wake up. And he's like, hey, whoop her ass. And so as I'm like this, she swings, but I like hit one of these and I'm like, bah, man. But now I'm fighting her like a grown ass woman. Because I'm not mad at just you now, bitch. I'm mad at all this weird ass shit. Like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of the street. I'm tired of you bitches. I'm tired of you niggas. So now I'm over here like, bop, bop, bop. And they're like, oh, your nose. Man, fuck the nose. Fuck the nose. So we over here like tussling. To the point, these motherfucking gloves come off. And I'm beating this bitch like, And they're like, okay, you got her. You got her. So, here go again. I just flip it. But I'm like, when they pull me off, I'm still like, man, fuck you. Fuck y'all. And they're like, hey now. Because I'll whoop your ass. And I'm like, man, I go in the house and shit. Because this is stupid. Why y'all making me fight? And I'm over here with a fucking busted ass nose already. So, yeah. That was probably the last fight I had that summer. I think that was the last fight I had that summer. Although I still ended up in the hospital one more time because I fell down some stairs. Got a concussion. I even fell down a tree. I fell off a tree. I fell off a fucking gate and split my damn leg open. Man, that was a good summer though. I was a tomboy like a motherfucker. But yeah. That is how my bullying story began. And that isn't how it ended. That's just how it ended like that. Nobody was blatantly... Because at this point, everybody done seen me fight. This shit. That's when I learned I had hands like a motherfucker. I said, yeet, you motherfucker, bitch. Yeah, so that's how my bullying started. It didn't end there, but I think it started to become more mental. Because everybody wasn't just about to try to fight me. Because it got to a point where... They knew I may not win, but I'm going to fight like I'm fucking dying. I'm finna fight like I'm trying to save my motherfucking life. You trying to save your reputation. I'm trying to save my life. Because I already know if I lose, I'm going to get bullied like crazy. Like, people try to cut you type shit. Like, you can't be out here looking soft. But I ain't know that. I had to learn that shit the hard way. So, yeah. I hope you guys like See, let me wrap this up. Hope y'all like my story. Hope y'all like this shit. You better like this motherfucking video. Let me stop. Yeah, so that is the beginning of my getting bullied story time. I'll probably make a story time about like how, I don't know if I really need to make a story time about how I started getting mentally abused because you could probably see that in the damn story times I already have. Like, motherfuckers playing with me. It was playing with my head. But anyway,